I see some beautiful people out in the audience already this morning. So if you are ready for that triple shot of good vibes, join us right now for an all new episode of Project Joy Live coming your way. Officially Friday here on the Breakthrough Show Network. Good morning, everybody. It's Friday, June 14th, 2024. I'm your host, Jessica Dugas, and this is Project Joy Live. It is your triple shot of good vibes every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Early as hell out there on the on the West Coast. So if you're joining us from over there on the other side of the country, listen, you are the real MVP because it's early over there. It's early. I give you some credit this morning. We have an incredible show on tap for you today. So I don't want to waste any time. I want to dive right in to our topics, what we're going to be covering today on Project Joy Live here in the Morning Brew. Here we go. Time for that morning joy brew. What's in your cup this morning? I am patiently awaiting my cup of tea from my personal barista here this morning, aka my daughter Nina. We love her and appreciate her assistance this morning. All of my kids, they're all sort of inadvertently a part of the Breakthrough Show Network in some kind of way. We had the World Building Expo this weekend, and Brittany and I and others were talking about how our kids all kind of know each other, which is really cool. Teresa's kiddo, Anthony, listen, not really a kiddo anymore. Sorry. I call all mine kiddo. Some of mine are adults and I call them kiddos. Anthony joins us and Brittany's kids and my kids, and it's so much fun. It's so much fun that we all kind of get to know each other a little bit as well. But yeah, it's a whole vibe around here. It's a whole family vibe. And so my kids, my daughter Margene, she'll come on and do like hair and makeup for me sometimes, and Nina's always getting that, the drinks just right for the show. And so I love it. I love that my kids are all up in my business. Well, in the best way. Love it. Let's see who's joining us out there this morning. Miss Teresa's here. Buenos dias, mi amiga. Muy bonita. Love it. Okay, I'm practicing my Duolingo. Can you guys tell?
Thank you.
Thank you. This morning. Happy Friday, Miss Brittany. Always good to see you here today. Yes, sending all the blessings. Miss Kat is here this morning. Good morning, Kat. It's not, well, maybe, is it afternoon yet where you are, Kat, or are you still in morning hours? I think it's probably into afternoon for you, but good afternoon. Good to see you. Yes, we are a big family here on the Breakthrough Show Network, and we love it that way. So I'm so glad that you're here today. Let's talk about what's happening on the show. I've got a brief moment of compassion for you this morning based on a comment that I made on another content creator's page this morning. So I want to talk to you about that. We also have our daily uplift. Our conversation today is about conversation. It's about joy-filled conversation, and I'm going to be sharing with you the breakthrough moment that I had myself, because the creator of the Breakthrough Show Network has her own breakthroughs, as well. And so we're gonna talk about the breakthrough that I had during the expo over the last couple of days. And then we've got a local joy segment for you coming up after the break. I'm going to share with you my review of the Providence Vegan Deli as well as Like No Udder's new location. It is my real honest review, so stay tuned for that after the break. We've also got birthdays coming up for you today, and it's going to be a great show. Are you guys ready? Are you pumped up? Okay, so Kat said it's 2 p.m. So that means it's afternoon. Good afternoon. It's good to have you here. Are you guys ready for a joy-filled show? I am. I'm excited about the show. It's going to be great and wonderful and all the things. So let's get into now our moment of compassion. All right, you guys, Nancy made it. She made it. I'm so glad you're here, Nancy. Good morning. Good to see you. Yes, more joy sharing this morning. So, in our moment of compassion today, I wanted to share with you a little bit that I talked about this morning. So there is a content creator that I found on Instagram. His name is Vegan Hacks Pod. Actually, I really would love to work on getting him here to talk with us on Project Joy. Or even the Breakthrough Show. I mean, anything at this point. But he did this post, a reel on Instagram, where he was talking about how he felt very like there was a growing, or that a lot of people have felt like a growing sort of hostility towards vegans. And here's this is not a segment about being vegan, but I want to share this with you, my thoughts, and what I commented to him. He said basically, what can we do about this feeling of growing hostility? And I think any group on the face of the planet at one time or another, whether we're talking about a racial group, a cultural group, some sort of like club sort of group, a certain belief system, like we have veganism, for example, has felt this sense of hostility at one time or another. So I would love to hear your thoughts on the comment that I left him, because this is what I said to him this morning. I said, I think what we can do, especially as content creators, influencers, people in the spotlight in general, so we're talking leaders here, okay, is to continue to live by example. If we want to see more compassion in the world, we need to be compassion. I can't tell you how many people will talk about this sense of hostility for their group or their people, we'll just say that, but then are not being that example of compassion themselves. So how can we create a world that we want to see with more compassion if we are not being compassionate? If we are not living that and being that at the core of who we are? And then I said, and also, in addition to that, what we can do is doing exactly as he was doing, which is having a conversation and opening up dialogue. So we're not going to get anywhere. We're not going to reach the space of mutual compassion, understanding with each other if we just shut the door instead of having a dialogue and having conversation, which is exactly what our show is about today. I'm so excited because when I saw that post this morning, I was like, yes, this ties into exactly what we're going to be talking about here this morning. Teresa said, yes, we need to be we need to be the compassion we need in the world. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much, my personal barista, bringing me the Aquarius mug this morning. You know, we are world changers here in Aquarius land. Okay, we are world changers. And so that's perfect as well. Thank you so much. I've got my tea happening this morning. Brittany says, yes, absolutely. Now, Nancy brings up a great point that I want to talk about. She said, I actually kind of stopped saying vegan a couple years ago because of the energy that came with it in response to meat eaters or those that don't understand. I find saying plant-based is a kinder way of saying it. So it's really interesting. I've heard so many perspectives on this. And for me, like, Here's the thing, this goes for any language. And we have talked about this so much on Beyond 2D. Ferran Dozier and I have really, and I think we're going to, we might end up having a 4 weeker. That's what we do on Beyond 2D. We may end up having a 4-part series on the human language. But the side note of that is that, one, people receive things in whatever lens they receive them in. So people's experiences and their own feelings around certain words and dialogue that we use is what determines how they receive things. And it is also a matter of choice. I will I talked about this weekend, how we'll hear often, well, we're not responsible for how other people receive things. And I always say to that, yes, and the reason I have the and is because of what Nancy's talking about. If we know that something is triggering to someone, if I say, okay, if I say, Brittany, I really care about you, and I know that Brittany, we're just going to be silly here for a moment. I know that Brittany has a trigger around pizza. Okay. I'm not going to go purposely. If I say I care about Brittany, I'm not going to go purposely talk to Brittany about pizza. That's ridiculous. Then that steps away from this space of compassion. So, and it's not about walking on eggshells. It's about recognizing, it's about respect, it's about mutual love, compassion, and appreciation. I'm not going to purposely do something that's going to trigger somebody, knowing what I know about them. Okay, so yes, I cannot control how Brittany might receive, and I know this is so funny, Brittany and Pete, because me and Brittany could talk about food all day. But my point is that I can't control how she might receive me saying the word pizza. However, if I know that she's triggered by that conversation, I'm not going to purposely do it. Right. And so that's another part of the conversation. However, at the same time, I feel like if we're speaking specifically from a space of leadership here. Okay. So if I feel like as a leader, I have a responsibility of diving into beyond the word. And it ties into what we're going to talk about here in a few minutes in our daily uplift. Okay. So I feel like as a leader, I have a responsibility to go beyond the word, to don't just go from taking something at face value. If I hear the word vegan and that triggers me, I want to then, as a leader, find out, what does that person mean by that? Because truly there's like the textbook definition, but people have different ways of perceiving it, processing it, living it. I have my own way. Nancy's probably has her own way. Brittany has her own way. We all have our different ways of living out certain scenarios. Okay. And so my job as a leader is to commit to going, I'm not only going to take what someone says, I'm going to make the choice to have a conversation and dive in further and go, okay, what does she mean by that? And continue the conversation there. Yes, and that's, that's one of my favorite sayings now. Consideration is the highest form of showing someone you care and love them. Brittany says, I agree. Just to consider someone's feelings, even because we're all triggered. How many of you, raise your hand in the audience, how many of you have ever had a really close relationship with someone? You love them, you could spend all the time with them, and something that they say bothers you at some point? Anyone? Anyone else? I think that's a very human thing. We are triggered by something that they say, but then it is our choice. Then it is our choice to have a conversation after that. It's our choice to go to that next step and say, okay, let's dig into this a little bit. Let's choose not to react and go, let's get to the bottom of this. Let's have a conversation. How committed are you to these relationships that you say you want to begin? That's it. That's it. Brittany says yes. Teresa says yes. Nancy said, honestly, another example is I wore a mask in public for others, not for me. It was something easy I could do that made others reduce their fear. And so be it. Everybody has you have a choice to make, and it's up to you. And we could say absolutely say the same for the other way around too. The people that didn't wear the masks, what could we say? Because there was all of these like, well, they're so inconsiderate. Well, why aren't you wearing it? Let's have that conversation. Why is it that you do what you do? And honestly, I'm going to toot my own horn for just a minute. That's why I'm good at what I do here at the Breakthrough Show Network, because I have that Curious George energy. Okay. I have the Curious George energy. With that, I hope that that moment of compassion is helpful for you today. And I want to dive into our daily uplift today because it ties right into this, talking about a joy-filled conversation. Our moment of compassion today just tied so beautifully into what I want to talk about here on the show. Also, Brittany said, side note, okay, I received this morning. Green is I do really love green. I love green. I have hints of, my eyes are always changing color, but I have hints of green in my eyes. And I do enjoy green. Yes, thank you so much. Here we have Muppet energy here and also Curious George energy. That's what we do here on the Breakthrough Show Network. So I had my own breakthrough this last couple of days. We had the World Building Expo on Tuesday and Wednesday, and it was really amazing. I've made posts on social media. I'm not going to cry again this morning, but I will say briefly again, thank you so much to everybody who helped. Big shout out to Brittany, who really held it down for me on Tuesday and was there literally both days with her energy and helpfulness. And everybody that took even just a moment to stop by, or even those who couldn't stop by and popped in my DMs and were like, hey, I can't come, but I'm just sending you good vibes. Thank you so much. I appreciate you beyond, I can't even express, so I'm not going to. I had my own little breakthrough this weekend. I really I've always known what I do in my business, even before the Breakthrough Show Network. I've known what I do in my business from a heart space. Let me know if you've ever experienced this before, but I just couldn't put words to it. That, in speaking of language, I couldn't put words to what I do in a way that felt as good as what I felt. For example, when I just said thank you to everybody, I feel so much more than the vibration of the words thank you and gratitude, if that makes sense. I feel so much more and so much deeper than the words that I'm actually saying. So I've always had a challenge of trying to come up with the opportunity that we have for our hosts within the Breakthrough Show Network, putting words to that and what it actually means. So I've been able to verbalize what the Breakthrough Show Network is, what it's about, the vibe we're creating. But I'm like, okay, from a host perspective, what is it that we're really doing? What is it that we are trying to accomplish here? And just, okay, mind-blowing moment for me. It just popped into my head. And as I was trying to come up with what my topic was going to be to talk about during the expo, it just popped into my head: content into conversations. One of the things that I find really challenging on social media across the web is when we see people regurgitating content or putting content out there or throwing things out in the world, and there's not this opportunity to interact. And I think as we have, as I've talked about this before, that word podcast is a little bit of you want to talk about triggers? It's a little bit of a trigger for me. I never really felt aligned as saying I'm a podcaster, because when I think of podcasts, the word podcast came into play when people started doing audio only content. Okay. Putting out the audio only shows into the world. That is not a conversation. That is not communication. I mean, we know that communication, as we've talked about on Beyond 2D, is a back and forth. It's a speaking and listening. And really, we should be doing more listening. So I knew, like, I don't really listen to a lot of podcasts. And so I was like, even though my show was on audio only for a little while, I just couldn't do it anymore because it just is not. It's not aligned. I want to talk to you. I want to have a back and forth. I want to have a dialogue and a conversation. And so it's challenging for me in this world of social media to see so much like throwing content out there, but not really having a conversation. So people can argue and go, well, there's comments, there are reactions, but that's not really always getting into the heart of 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 a dialogue, okay, which is this sort of banter or back and forth or being able to play off of each other's energy and ideas. And so I knew with the Breakthrough Show Network that we wanted to do live streaming because, as we can tell, we love to interact throughout the show. Thank you for my Care Bear hearts. I always have that Care Bear visual. But we love to interact throughout the show. I want to have a conversation. And then as far as the community is concerned, okay, how can we bring in that conversation piece to the events that we do? Okay. And going even further than this interaction that we're having here. And now we're having a full conversation. And so that's what I talked about during the expo, was that's what we do here. We turn content into conversation. And it just was like this mind-blowing thing for me. So I literally sent a voice message to Brittany yesterday and I said, the Breakthrough Show Network hosting opportunity turns your content into conversations through live streaming broadcasts and life-changing events. Thank you. And it finally felt so good. Like, it finally felt amazing. It felt like exactly what I felt that I have been trying so desperately to say this whole time. And so that's it. There it is. End of story. And so it felt so amazing. And so I think I would love to see a world where we shift things a little, shift the narrative a little bit from being content creators. I almost combined two words there. Content creators, influencers, leaders, into like conversation specialists. Okay. Because it's a reciprocal experience. When we are committing to having conversations with other people, that is, it's fulfilling the need, the innate desire and need that we have as human beings to want to be heard and appreciated and valued. And then it comes back to us because if we're listening, which is a huge part of conversation, we're learning about our clients, our audience, our fans, our people. And then we can go, okay, yes, more of that. And reciprocate with the content that we share out in the world. And then now they have something they need. Now they feel more comfortable. Now we're having deeper conversations. Now we can create even better content. And it's this beautiful symbiotic, just relationship. It's relationship creating, not client getting, not sale making, relationship creating is what it is. Conversation having. Okay. And so I had to share my mic drop, my mic drop moment with you. So for any of you that are like, listen, I see you guys doing different shows. I think I might want to do a show too. I want to repeat what we're about here. The Breakthrough Show Network hosting opportunity turns your content into conversations through live streaming broadcasts and life changing events. And as a bonus, we're creating relationships. Your network is going, and it's amazing. It's amazing. It's great and wonderful. It's great. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, let me go back. Teresa said, totally get that. It's like the words are not comparable to the experience. 100%. 100%. Sometimes my heart goes faster than my brain. That's what I, that's what I like to say. Kat loves the community. Many of us grew up being told interrupting is rude. I mean, it's, conversation is an art, right? And I think we learn that so much. So much. Conversation is an art. It's this delicate balance and dance between speaking and listening and playing and taking in and processing, and it's a beautiful thing. And so I think it's this, it's this dance. Although we were told that interrupting is rude, sometimes it's just banter and fun. Other times it's like, be quiet and let me talk. But when you create those relationships, you're able to communicate that to each other and be like, hey, I need to feel a little more heard right now. Okay. So let me talk for just a moment. Message received. I too am not big on podcasts because I want questions, comments, and feedback in the moment. Giancarlo, we need to go live. Nancy said, I love that. I love it. Yes, kumbaya. Boom. Everything is art. Absolutely. Conversation is an art, and you can bring that to Brittany's Craft Circle next week as well. All of that being said, that's our daily uplift today, talking about joy-filled conversations. That's what we do here on the Breakthrough Show Network, and I'm so happy to have you be a part of it. Listen, I'm very excited because we've got our all new, our updated commercial for the second half of the year happening right now. We'll be right back with our local joy, and also what else are we doing? Local joy and birthdays. Yes, we'll be right back after this.
Breakthroughs are about more than you might think. They're about discovering who you are, digging deep, reaching to the core of your soul. They're about healing yourself, understanding your beliefs, creating a ripple effect. And it's not just those initial moments that matter. It's about using them to bring more joy into our own lives and the lives of others. It's about having fun, letting loose, enjoying every moment life has to offer. It's about finding a safe space. It's about creating connection. Join us each and every day for exclusive programming, special events, and a community to call home, where we invite you to explore, change the way you look at and live your life, and go beyond the breakthrough. So we ask you, are you ready? We'll see you online at thebreakthroughshow.com.
Welcome back to Project Joy Live. It is Friday, everybody, June 14th, 2024. I hope you are set up to have an absolutely amazing weekend. And if not, start here, get your vibes here, and then bring that with you into the weekend. Y'all, I decided to get up this morning and put on my complete goddess healer crystal this morning. This was a piece made especially for me by Allie House Adornments. And it's so funny because Allie she was on the show a couple seasons ago, and she is a jeweler, like a transformational jeweler. She really taps in to her intuition when she creates pieces for people. And I will never forget the meeting that we had. She was like, your energy is like, oh, it's wow. And she's like, I'm seeing like 20 different crystals for you. And it went from being this multi-stone, multifaceted, so many, pieces. And then right before she went to go create the piece, this beautiful, gigantic healer quartz came into her studio, and she was like, I tapped in, and this is you. And she's like, I know it's a lot, but it may not feel like you right now, but one day it's going to feel like you. And every now and then I go into my jewelry drawer and I go, that's what we're doing today. And it's like putting on a whole crown. So Allie House Adornments, thank you so much for your work that you do in the world. Always represent over here because it's amazing. It's amazing. Thank you so much. I love what happens when you think you have a plan, right? Amen. That's a real thing. Let's go into our local joy today. Y'all, my heart and my stomach was full yesterday. Let's talk about it now. So, as many of you know, I live in southeastern Connecticut, and there's been so much joy that I have experienced since moving back here to my hometown, and that I want to share it with you occasionally in local joy. So, I shared with you before that a new vegan deli opened up in Providence, Rhode Island, and we took a little trip up there yesterday. Okay. I was so excited. They just like literally this week opened up full time. In addition, Like No Udder, that is a vegan ice cream shop, they, I'm trying to talk and bring the stuff up at the same time, which you guys know I'm not good at. They also they had their lease had ended and they had to find a new place, and so Providence Vegan Deli and Like No Udder are both under their same the same roof now, which is amazing. So we went over there. This is just a little look into their case. I want to share with you some of the pictures I took, but then also I'm going to share with you what I thought as well, which I think is good. That's not Providence Vegan Deli. That was a funny picture we made for my husband's work. Okay, so there's a potato salad. We just got a little cup of that to try. The potato salad was amazing. There was the olive medley, which he makes by himself there in the restaurant. And there's a cute little cat. Nancy, you would love it. They have cats all over the place, not actual cats, but pictures of cats all over the place in the restaurant as well. Let me pull up my other ones here, you guys. Not cooperating today. There's my girls. They have a mural painted on the wall, which we love. Love that. And then this is my daughter's sandwich. She had some kind of barbecue horseradish. It was amazing. I think it was called the Cannonball, if I'm not mistaken. So amazing. This, y'all, this big. Okay, Italian grinder. It was so good. I can't even, 3 different kinds of homemade vegan meats that were on there, lots of veggies, super flavorful. This what the heck was this one? This might have been my daughter's. Yeah, I think she had a half. Oh no, this was the ham and cheese. That was vegan ham and cheese that my daughter had. And then also my husband had a sandwich called the Firestorm, which was a spicy vegan grinder. Absolutely amazing. And then we went next door to Like No Udder, which so many options over there, you guys. There's Leah with her float. And then we had Jazzy getting a little sassy with with her ice cream over there. And then Margene had her ice cream. And I had a Pride of Corn. You guys, it was a Pride of Corn. They put it together for Pride Month, but they have a unicorn, which is kind of like a Blizzard at another place we're aware of, but it's all vegan. This was so good, you guys, so good. But I want to I share with you my thoughts this morning because Look, I'm over here drooling. Okay, first of all, everything was super fresh. So freshness, 110%. Um, everything was great and wonderful there. All of the food was super flavorful, jam packed. If anybody out there ever thought, well, vegans only eat salads, this whole place would blow your socks right off, because the flavors were absolutely amazing. The texture of Providence Vegan Deli's seitan was absolutely on point. As some of you know, we make seitan at home as well. So I've gotten our texture on point, but his was amazing. And the one meat that he makes with all of the spices in it, y'all, I'm drooling right now. It's horrible. It's so delicious. So delicious. What else can I say? Everything super fresh flavor. The staff was really super friendly. I think so I have two minor things. My complaint overall is very little parking. That said, the sort of caveat to that, it is in a city, so you're gonna have that. I always wish that there's more parking than what there is. However, we had parked like way off somewhere, and then when my girls and I were walking up, we saw an empty spot, so we literally stood in the spot, and then my husband brought the car up, which was great. I wish there was more parking. There is some, but it is what it is. Don't go during a busy time. And then the Italian grinder was way more spicy than I thought it would be. Now, I love spice. I could eat spice all day. I love hot things. Some people might not love hot things. So my suggestion would be to like mark on there when something's a little more spicy. But I thought it was absolutely amazing. Flavors on point, customer service on point, freshness on point. Everything was, and the menu choices I thought were great. They also have a gluten-free option for anybody that's there. And they had drinks, they had chips, they had all kinds of things. So perfection. I also want to comment on Like No Udder, because I had been in their other location. I love the open and expansive feeling of being in this place with the two different businesses. I thought it felt much more open. Of course, I went to both times I went to Like No Udder in the old location. I must have gone during really busy times, but it always felt like there's a lot of people here. This feels open and expansive. Even with a bunch of people that were there yesterday, it felt really good in there. Definitely have the good vibes. And of course, I love how many incredible options there are at Like No Udder. The staff is really friendly and great, always delicious. And so I'm giving both 10 out of 10 for me. Okay. And so we will be back, and it's always, listen, your place makes me go, should I move to Rhode Island? No, I love it in Connecticut, but the fact that it puts that thought in my head, that should tell you how good it is there. Okay. That should tell you how good it is there. Love it. It was so delicious, so delicious. Nancy said, I hope more and more are realizing how much plant-based foods are so tasty. It is. It's imagination, 100%. That reminds me of waiting for you in Asheville and standing in the parking spot. Yeah, so it's very similar to Asheville over there in Providence, Nancy. And it's, I wish we could have places in some of the smaller towns that I enjoy with bigger parking lots, which is great and wonderful. But 10 out of 10, it was amazing. We'll go back for sure, and definitely put that little, it's good when it puts in your mind, maybe I need to move closer. For sure. So thank you so much, Providence Vegan Deli and Like No Udder, for an incredible lunch yesterday. And we will be back very, very soon. Let's get to birthdays.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to all those that are celebrating in the world of celebrity today. President Donald Trump is 78 years old today. Boy George Boy George is 63 years. I'll tumble for ya. I'll tumble for ya. I'll tumble for ya. I'll tumble for you. Yes, Boy George, 63 today, you guys. Daryl Sabara, you might know him. He's 32 years old today. He played in Spy Kids back in the day as Junie Cortez. And he's now the husband of Megan Trainor as well. They have some amazing children's and fun over there. Marla Gibbs, you guys remember her from the Jeffersons? Moving on up to the east side. Yes, 93 years old today. Marla Gibbs. Happy birthday to you. In the celebrities in our lives, Troy Stone. We have 2 Breakthrough alum today. Troy Stone, amazing drummer and just overall incredible human being. Happy birthday, Troy Stone. Make sure you go find him on Facebook and YouTube and go listen to his music because he's really amazing. He's also a great songwriter and all of that as well, but that drumming is on point. Also, Christopher freaking Burns has a birthday today. He was really so present in my life back when I first got started with my show, and he used to have the 12-hour marathon podcast. Yes, this was a real thing. He did every week, 12 hours of podcasting. I had been on his show several times, really amazing. So happy birthday, Christopher Burns. Always good to see your name pop up in my feed. And thank you for contributing to my Moments Worth Remembering book. I really appreciate you. All of that being said, let's sing us our birthday song today. Here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear President Donald Trump, Boy George, Daryl Savard, Marla Gibbs, Troy Stone, and Christopher Burns. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to all those that are celebrating today and through the weekend. Wishing you an amazing birthday. Celebrate all month. This is your pass to do that today. You could celebrate the whole year if you want to, really. This is your pass to celebrate your birthday however long you want to. Thank you. All right. Thank you, button on point today. All right. Let's talk about what's happening on the Breakthrough Show Network the rest of the day today. And through the weekend. So coming up this afternoon, right after the show, actually, we have our co-working session beginning check-in by 9:55 a.m. We work until 12 p.m. together. Go to the breakthroughshownetwork.club and under workspaces, you will see our collaborative workspace. That's where our co-working is today. And you can come and join us for that. Coming up at 1 p.m. today, we have an all-new episode of the Breakthrough Show with my very special guest, Jess J. Williams. Some of you know her as Jessie Sue that joins us for Soul Saturday Morning Coffee. She's going to be telling her story on the show today, and it is going to be amazing. So definitely tune in for that at 1 p.m. today. What else do we have going on? I'm going to the beach tonight to see a band called Bon Journey. On Journey. It is a cover band that covers Bon Jovi and Journey songs. So I'm really excited to hear them. Y'all send the good vibes to push the rain clouds away. Okay. Tomorrow morning, we have, of course, every Saturday, 9:30 a.m., Soul Saturday Morning Coffee. Come and join us in our virtual community. Again, that's the breakthroughshownetwork.club, and come and check us out there. We have tomorrow is Father's Day, or not tomorrow, Sunday is Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all the amazing dads out there. We have an all-new episode of Spirit Sessions coming up at 12 o'clock on Sunday, as well as Magical Melodies with Kevin Kiley at 6 p.m. to on. I keep trying to say tomorrow. It's not tomorrow. It's Sunday. Go to the breakthroughshownetwork.com for information about all of our shows and events. We would love to see you there. And as I mentioned, if you've got that little tug to be a host and turn your content into conversations, we'd love to have a conversation with you about that as well. Yes. Yes, that's going to be a good band tonight for sure. Yes, party at Spirit Sessions on Sunday. I'm your host, Jessica Dugas. Thank you so much, as always, for being with me here today. And I want to remind you to make joy a priority in your life today and every day. And I will see you guys next week on a new episode of Project Joy Live. Bye, everybody. Make it a great weekend.